I think, and this is just on my mind because we just had our first day of classes yesterday. When I introduce my courses, I say something that I don't mean to sound arrogant or overly ambitious, but I really do want to be true, that I want the course to be transformational. The courses we offer here in this field, I want to be transformational. I want them to change how they think about their place in the world. I want them to recognize the leverage and responsibility they have to stand up in the face of mass atrocity rather than to stand by and say, it's terrible what's happened in Africa, it's terrible what's happened in the Middle East, that they are citizens of a global community, and I want them to see beyond the limits of who they think they are and the place they think they have here at Keene State. And I was a first-generation college student, and I love working with our first-generation college students because that's part of that transformational experience of realizing my world is much bigger than I ever thought it was, and I have a role to play in that big world. I've been fortunate to work often with the Auschwitz Institute for Peace and Reconciliation, which is an NGO based in New York City and Poland that wants to train government officials, people at the front lines, on issues of what genocide is, what the warning signs are, and what they can do as a government official to make a difference when civilians are being killed by their own governments in their region. So I do work with them. I plan their academic programs. I lead the curriculum and the seminars that we teach 3 or 4 times a year at Auschwitz. We teach on the grounds of the most notorious Nazi extermination camp. I think very practically for some of our students, we've had to this point 4 students serve as interns for the Auschwitz Institute in New York, where they go to work for the summer, and in the following year they have a chance to come to one of our seminars that we do in Poland, and they continue their internships there as well. So it really, I think practically what it allows for our students is a chance to have an internship in a NGO in the field of genocide, mass atrocity prevention, and kind of get that experience firsthand. But, you know, I find that what I do in the classroom with students informs a ton of what I do in these government training seminars, and what I do in those seminars informs a ton of what I do with my students. 2 ways that the students benefit from it. One is obviously just kind of directly what I can bring into the classroom from, you know, having just last week been in Argentina working with government officials, and then how I translate that into what we do in the class, so that, you know, the students know they're not simply, you know, hearing this from someone who's read it in a book, but that I'm actively involved in this type of work at a policy level. I think gives them a different, unique point of connection. Every day in class, we have 2, 3, or 4 what I've called focus questions that focus our attention for that class period. Very, very seldom do those questions have clear-cut answers. And even if they look at a question, like the question of humanitarian intervention, and they think they know what the right answer is on it, at the end of a class period, I hope they at least understand what the competing answers are. And sometimes they probably leave more confused about an issue than they were when they came in. But I think in the field in which we work, that type of confusion, those type of what we call gray areas, are just part and parcel of what we do. So I think I probably have been less interested in them getting the answers to these questions and more interested in posing the question, helping them understand the importance of the question and how it's framed, and then seeing the different sides in response to it.